to really feel connected to the earth. And shrug your shoulders a couple of times, just bringing them up and around the ears, allowing them to come up to your ears and gently drop again. And feel free to take that mudra now, if you like, with your palms pointing towards the ceiling. We're going to work through a couple of rounds of gentle breath just to energize us. I recommend breathing for a count of 4 in, just a gentle pause at the top of that inhale, and exhaling for a count of 4 or 5, and maybe a little pause at the end of the exhale as well. So we'll take 3 rounds of breath like that. So inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, pausing at the top, and exhaling 2, 3, 4, or 5. Let's take that 2 more times in your own time with your own count. And the next time when you're ready, taking a really deep inhale this time, allowing all 4 corners of your ribs to expand, really feeling like you're taking up space on the mat with that breath. And exhale, if you want, a gentle sigh out the mouth. And you can work with that counted breath, or if you have ujjayi breath in your practice, the ocean breath, then you can use that as we work through today as well. So releasing the mudra, if you had it in your hands, your palms shining upwards towards the sky. We're going to inhale now and bring all 10 fingertips up towards the sky. So your biceps along your ears, really reach for the sky here. But as we're doing that, just make sure your shoulders haven't come up too far to your ears. So maybe even the sensation of pulling them down and putting your shoulder blades apart. Exhale, gently place the right hand on the mat. Left hand in a diagonal, really enjoying the stretch from your left fingertips all the way down to your left hip bone. Enjoying the sensation as well of your rib bones almost pulling apart from each other. And on your next inhale, bringing all 10 fingertips up towards the sky and just falling over to the other side. So that left hand gently finding the mat, right hand pointing to the top of the mat. Trying, if you can, to even push that right sits bone into the mat to enjoy that stretch along the right oblique even further. Next time we're going to do that slightly quicker. So inhale, all 10 fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, fall to the right. Inhale, fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, fall towards the left. The next one's slightly different. So we're going to inhale, all 10 fingertips towards the sky. And then just twist very slowly. So the back of the left hand finds the outside of the right knee, and the right hand finding a place just behind your sit bones, behind your hips. You can stay looking forward, or you can allow your gaze to follow your shoulder all the way around. So you're looking over your right shoulder, inhaling that crown of your head towards the sky, and exhaling, maybe twisting a little bit deeper through your navel. On your next inhale, all 10 fingertips towards the sky. As we take that twist to the other side, so the back of the right hand finding the left knee, left hand that space behind your hips. Inhaling, crown towards the sky, exhaling, maybe to twist deeper. Let's say that inhale again, so all 10 fingertips towards the sky again as we reach up, trying to find that sun. And exhale, hands cross in front of you, so your elbows cross and both hands find your knees. And just pushing down through your knees, through your hands, and feeling that stretch along the back. Maybe your chin dips towards your chest. Again, enjoying that feeling of your ribs pulling apart, your shoulder blades going in opposite directions. Going to inhale, all 10 fingertips towards the sky. And just cartwheel our hands, so probably over your left or right knee, depending on what you want to be the top of the mat. And very slowly in your own time, coming to all fours. Kind of a version of tabletop here. Taking a breath to check your alignment, making sure your hands, your elbows and your shoulders are in line. Your knees ideally under your hips. And with our breath, we're going to take a couple of rounds of cat-cow. For those of you that know it, feel free to start. And for those that don't, inhale, push down through the hands, the chest coming through towards the elbows, the belly button dipping towards the floor, and the pelvis tucking up towards the sky. Look to the horizon. And as you exhale, push down through the hands, the knees, the tops of the feet, and let the spine round. Probably your gaze comes to that space in between your knees, your tailbone tucking down towards the space between your knees too. And let's take that a couple more times. So inhaling, belly button towards the mat, look up to the horizon. Exhale, rounding that spine, pushing down through the hands. If you want to freestyle this a little bit by drawing maybe a figure of 8 with your hips, then you can. If not, stay with me. Inhale, look up towards the horizon. And exhale, round the spine. If at any point here you want to take a quick detour through child pose, feel free. Not, we'll take one more version of this. So inhale, look up to the horizon. Exhale, push down through the hands and curl the tailbone down towards the space in between the knees. And whilst you're here, untucking the toes now, we're going to push ourselves back into downward dog. So keeping that space in between the fingers, pushing your hips up and back in space, thigh bones pushing towards the back of the mat. Doesn't matter if your legs are bent or straight here, but really keeping the space all the way along the spine if you can. Checking in to making sure your shoulders aren't up around your ears again. And with your breath, just taking a couple of gentle steps towards the top of the mat, your feet finding the space in between your hands. And with an inhale, let's peel ourselves all the way up to standing, vertebrae by vertebrae. Fingertips towards the sky for an extra stretch if you wish. And exhale, hands next to the thighs. Just taking a moment again to check our alignment. Look towards your feet. You can have your big toes pushing together, your heels apart, or your feet parallel. Engaging the fronts of your thighs, bringing your belly button in towards the back, towards your back, towards your spine. Shrugging your shoulders down, palms shining forwards to the top of the mat. We find Tadasana. Just breathing here for a minute, maybe coming back to that breath. Count of 4. Pausing and a count of 4 to exhale. And with me as we inhale, bringing all 10 fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, very slowly, swan, dive forward, fold. Fingertips, find the mat if possible, or your shins. Inhale, pushing your palms towards your shins, nice straight spine as we look up. Exhale, framing the feet with both hands, stepping back towards plank. Engaging that belly button again. Exhale, knees find the mat. Chest, that space in between the hands. We very slowly look up in a gentle back bend. Exhale, chest finds the mat. Untuck the toes. Coming through knees if you want to. Again, as we slowly push our hips up and back towards the sky. Thighs pushing towards the back of the mat. Back to that downward facing dog. You can walk the feet if you like, just to enjoy that stretch along the backs of your knees. Again, it really doesn't matter if your knees are bent, if your heels aren't touching the floor either. Just enjoy the stretch along your spine. Holding here for 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, inhale, look up and gently step to the top of the mat. Feet to the space in between your hands. Inhale, looking up, your hands pushing against your shins, nice straight back. Exhale, taking that forward fold. Inhale, sweeping all 10 fingertips back up towards the sky. Hands to prayer as you exhale, bringing that prayer hands through your heart. Palms shining forward, and we're back to that Tadasana mountain pose here. So we can find that alignment with our feet. Imagining our feet are squares and we're pushing down through all 4 corners of them solidly into the mat. Checking our alignment with our shoulders, making sure they're away from our ears. As we're working through our summer solstice flow here and bringing some fire into our core, really focus now on drawing that belly button up and in, engaging your bandhas here. You can engage your pelvic floor if you like as well. Inhale, sweep all 10 fingertips again back up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips to mat or fingertips to shins, whatever suits you. Inhale, look up, nice straight back. Exhale, frame the feet, step back to plank. If you have chaturanga in your practice, feel free to take it. If not, on an exhale, knees, chest, chin towards the mat. Inhale, back bend of your choice, pushing down to your hands. And exhale, back to downward facing dog, to your knees if you want to. Holding here for 5 more breaths. And gently walking the dog if that's what you'd like to do today. So paddling those feet. Trying to invoke a sensation of rest in this posture. I know it's not easy for everybody, but enjoying being here before we move even further. On your next inhale, step, fly, float to the top of the mat. Hands to shins, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping all 10 fingertips back up towards the sky. Hands to prayer through heart. Exhale as we return back to that Tadasana, mountain pose. We move to sun salutation B here. So imagine that you're sitting in a chair now, so pushing your hips back, knees bent, spine nice and long if you can keep it that way. Just look down quickly and make sure you can see your toes over the tops of your knees. Breathe here and exhale, let that go into a forward fold. Inhale, push your palms to your shins, nice straight back, look up. Exhale, frame your feet, step back to plank. Chaturanga if you want to take that, or follow me with knees, chest, chin. Back bend of your choice, look up over the top of your nose. To exhale, through bent knees, push back, downward facing dog. Putting your left foot now about 11 o'clock here. Right foot finding a space between your hands. It's fine to help it along if you need to. So inhale, warrior one, pushing down to that back heel. If this is too much for your hips, feel free just to take this in the high lunge, or even bring your knee to the mat if this is too hard for you right here. Holding for a little breath. Exhale, framing right foot with both hands, step back, plank, hold it here for 1 breath, engage that belly button. Exhale, knees find the mat. Inhale, back bend of your choice, looking up to the horizon. Exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Thighs towards the back of the mat, hips up towards the ceiling. Holding here for a breath. On your next inhale, turning the right foot out to 1 o'clock if you can. Bringing the left knee through your chest to space at the top of the mat. And with an inhale, sweeping your fingertips up towards the sky as we find warrior one. Quickly check that both hips are pointing towards the top of the mat. Again, if this feels too much, turn the foot to point to the top of the mat and take a high lunge, or you can bring the knee to the floor. Inhale, reach towards the sky. Exhale, framing that left foot. Step back to plank. I'm going to hold it here for a breath. Take child's pose if you're struggling, that's absolutely fine. And exhale, knees find the mat. Sweeping our chest, that space in between the hands. Inhale, look up, back bend of your choice. And exhale, slowly push back. We're back in that downward facing dog. Slowly just going to drop our knees to the mat here. Back in that tabletop position. Let's just take a gentle stretch for the back, so walking the hands forwards. And allowing your heart, your chest to sink towards the floor. Little puppy pose here, just to stretch out the heart, the ribs. Calming that heart rate back down quickly. Inhale, bringing your hands back to all fours tabletop. Quickly take a cat and cow if you want to, or just whatever feels comfortable. Before we inhale, pushing our hips up and back in space. We'll just hold that downward dog for 5 breaths. So when we check our alignment here, we want to be pushing through all 4 corners of the palms. Making sure the shoulders are away from the ears. You can create that sensation of pulling the mat apart with your hands, and you'll feel your shoulder blades peel apart from the back. One more long, gentle, cooling breath here. And step, fly, flip to the top of the mat. Inhale, look up when you get there. Hands to shins if you like, nice straight back. Exhale, forward fold. Hold it here for a breath. We take inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, so pushing those hips back. Find that imaginary chair with your bum if you can. Check you can see your tips of your toes over your knees. Hold here for one more breath. And exhale, let's just let that go. Let's find a really easy forward fold. Whatever suits you here. Bending the knees back and forth if you want to. Let's inhale, sweep all 10 fingertips back to the top, up to the sky. Holding your prayer here. Exhale, bringing the prayer through your third eye in front of your chest. Hands shine forwards to the top of the mat. Holding here for another breath. Pulling those shoulders down away from the ears. Palms shining forwards. And again, feeling the strength of this posture, mountain pose. Really strong, but still can be demanding. We engage our legs if we wish. Pulling our belly button back. Finding our breath. Enjoying that warmth that we've created with the sun salutations here. One more deep breath. And we'll move to the next teacher. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. So let's come back to the tops of your mat into Tadasana. Let's inhale our arms in front of us, shoulder height. I'm going to maybe turn towards you slightly just so that you can see me and come a bit closer. So it's shoulder height and hands are outstretched in front of us, palms facing each other and arms are sort of shoulder width apart. And from here, we'll be just inhaling in the middle and then exhaling into twist with our left arm to the left, inhaling back to the middle, and then exhaling into twist on the other side, right arm going back. So we'll do this 2 more times on each side, inhaling to the middle, exhaling into this gentle standing twist, inhaling back into the middle, to the other side. And last time, wherever you started, side one, inhaling back into the middle, and then the other side, exhaling into twist, inhaling back into the middle. So this is a little intro. Now let's bring our arms down next to our hips, and inhale, arms up, knees bent into our chair pose. In our chair pose, have your feet hip width apart, or you can have your big toes touching and heels apart. It really depends. If you have any sacral issues, it's maybe better to have the feet hip width apart. If not, you can have your big thumbs touching and heels apart. So let's hold here. Arms are left and right of our ears outstretched. Now let's bring our left hand on our lower back. Let's try to extend our right arm like you want to grab something. Deep inhale, and only from this extension, let's exhale into a twist in our chair pose. Bringing our hands into prayer to our left side. Try to sit down as much as you can. If you go lower, it will be actually easier to twist and to hold the balance. Check that your hips are aligned, that your right hip is not coming forward, which tends to happen. And check if you can still see your toes on your feet. Hold here for another deep inhale. And exhale, coming into twist a little bit more. And now let's exhale and release, arms up above our head. And bringing your arms down left and right to your hips. Let's bring our hand on our hips. Lift your left leg up, knee bent. And let's step back into our high lunge. Find the alignment here. Check with your hands on your hips that the hips are facing forward. Engage your core here. Tailbone goes down towards the mat. And only when you have this really perfect stable position with your legs and with your hips, let's inhale, arms up. And let's hold our high lunge for 3 rounds of inhale and exhale. Really push your back heel backwards as much as you can so that you're having your weight evenly distributed between your front and back leg. Engage your core. Tailbone down. Deep inhale here, and now with the exhale, we'll just come forward, leaning our torso to around 60 degrees, like an airplane. Your arms are still up next to your ears. And I will be exhaling, arms back next to your hips, and inhaling, arms up next to your ears. So everything is completely without movement. Jumps, arms are moving up and down. So inhaling, arms up next to your ears, and exhaling down towards your hips. So altogether 5 times. So we have 3 more to go. Engage your core here. Don't forget your back leg. Your back leg is as strong as your front leg, although your front leg may be hurting a little bit more. And last time, inhale. And now let's end. Exhale, hands into the mat. And let's bring our right foot back. And come back into your downward dog. Let's stay here for a couple of breaths. If you feel tired, just come into child's pose. From here, we'll inhale into plank. And exhale, if you can, without letting your knees down, just come all the way down to your mat. Elbows into your torso. Now we'll stay on our belly. Bring your arms next to your hips, outstretch. Your forehead is on the floor. And with next inhale, we'll just lift our legs up. So leave your forehead down, your torso down. Your arms are on the floor. And just bring your legs up and try to turn your pinkies out and down. So like you'd be wanting to come with your inner thighs towards the ceiling. So open up your sacrum here and hold your legs up. You can push with your palms into the floor if it makes it easier for you. And just breathe. 2 more inhales and exhales here. Let's release. And we'll do it 1 more time. Again, inhale, legs up. Open up the sacrum. Rotate inner thighs up and out. And only now, lift your torso if you can, if you want, and lift your arms up as well. If you want, you can interlace your fingers behind your back, or you just leave your arms left and right. Straight, engage your core here as much as you can. Push your toes on your feet towards the back of the mat, crown of the head, towards the front of your mat, front of the room. Find the length, and only when you have the length, try to lift up more. 2 more deep inhales and exhales here. In this core and low back strength now. Or locust pose, Shavasana. Now let's relax. Forehead into stacked palms if you want. Just rest together our breath. And now let's slowly come back up onto our fours. In all fours, let's inhale deeply. And let's exhale all the way up, back into our downward dog. With the next inhale, let's step between our hands. Half lift, straight spine, parallel to the floor. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up above your head. And exhale into Tadasana. In Tadasana, let's do the same easy twist as we did at the beginning of my sequence. So let's inhale, our arms up in front of us, shoulder high. And again, exhale into twist. It doesn't matter which side you begin. Inhale back into the middle, palms facing each other. And exhale to the other side. 2 more times on each side. Before we do the same sequence on the other side. You can also flow slower or quicker. Just find your pace here. Take care that the shoulders are away from your ears. And last one, exhale into twist. Inhale to the middle. Arms down, and let's inhale, arms up next to your ears. Your sit bone down into your chair pose. Again, feet either hip width apart or big toes together, heels apart, as you like. Navel to spine, really pull your navel to spine as much as you can. And now we'll come to the other side. I'm just going to turn so that you can see me better. So we are going to place our right hand on our low back first. Keep your left arm extended. Like you try to grab something. Really extend, extend, extend as much as you can. And let this extension bring you into rotation to your right side. Place your hands in prayer in front of your chest. Align your hips. Take care that your left hip is not coming forward. Align your knees. See if you can still see your toes. With every inhale, extend your spine. With every exhale, move slightly more into the twist. And just bring your sit bones down as much as you can. The lower you'll get your sit bones, the easier it will be. Don't forget to breathe. Last deep inhale. And exhale. And let's inhale all the way back up. Extend and release. Just check it out here a little bit before we go to our high lunge. So bring your hands on your hips. Let's lift our right leg up, knee bent, and let's come back with it. So now our left leg is in front, knee bent, knee above your ankle, and our back leg, our right leg is straight and strong. Adjust your hips so that both of them are looking forward. Engage your core, tailbone down towards the floor. And only when you find your stable position here, inhale your arms up next to your ears. 3 deep inhales and exhales in our high lunge. Push your back heel backwards as much as you can. Take care that your right hip is not coming backwards together with the heel. So you're pushing your right hip forward and your right heel backwards. If you feel that you're not super stable, you can always widen your stance. Your feet can be wider than your hips, it doesn't really matter. From here, deep inhale, let's come forward with the torso into airplane pose. Leave your arms next to your ears and exhale your arms down next to your hips. So everything is completely still. Your legs, your torso, your head. It's just your arms moving up on inhale and down next to your hips on exhale. Engage your core here. Strong legs. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed. So altogether it will be 5 times. So in my counting, there are still 2 to go. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And now it will be last inhale, arms up next to your ears. And exhale, hands down. Let's bring your left leg back into your downward dog. If you need a bit of a break, come into child's pose. If not, just stay here in downward dog for 3 long inhales and exhales. We'll be using downward dog here as a resting pose. You can bend your knees in your downward dog if you want. Your hands are strong, fingers strong. Push all of the knuckles into the mat. Shoulders away from the ears, chest towards the thighs. And only when you have your spine super straight, only then try to straighten your legs. From here, let's move into plank on the next inhale, and we'll stay in plank for a bit now. So you have three options here. Either stay in plank, or you come to the tops of your feet, or you can be on your knees, or you can combine. So you can stay in plank a little bit, and then come on your knees when you can't hold anymore. We'll be holding here for a good minute. So if you can hold it on the tops of your feet, that'd be great. So come on tops of your feet, pull your navel to the spine, like you want to rounding your lower back. Really pull the navel in. Take care that you're pushing with your palms into the floor with all of the fingers so that you're not putting too much pressure on your wrists. Shoulders away from the ears, chest is open, navel to spine, strong legs. All of the muscles on your legs should be active. And just breathe. Long, deep inhales and exhales. If you can't hold anymore, just come into normal plank or come on your knees. Take a couple of breaths and try to come back either on plank or plank on the tops of your feet. This plank on the tops of your feet is great for your core and great for your low belly. It's really the best. So 30 more seconds to go. Try to hold it or take a short break and then hold even more. I have to talk, so I'm shaking, but it's only 15 seconds more. Focus on your breath. Engage your whole body, navel to spine. 5 more. And release, come down very slowly. Let's come into wide-legged child's pose, so knees as wide as the mat. And sit back onto your heels. Just relax your lower back here. Relax your arms, your shoulders, your core. You can have your thumbs and index finger touching in a diamond position in front of your head. It's going to relax and release your shoulders. Last deep inhale and exhale. Let's come back up onto all fours. Let's cross our ankles, push ourselves back, and we'll be coming into a seated position. Knees bent, feet on the floor, and let's come down slowly with our arms in front of us, outstretched into supine. I'm just going to readjust the camera so that you'll be able to see me better, because it's going to be everything on the floor from now on. Okay, so just stay supine. And from here, we'll be finishing the middle sequence with some core work. It's not going to be easy, but it's a wonderful strengthener for low back and core, as well as obliques. So we'll start with leg lifts. If you want, you can bring your hands below your sit bones so that your palms are pushing into the ground. It is going to protect your low back. And we're going to start with only single-legged lifts. So let's lift our right leg up and down, and then left leg up and down, just to warm us up. You can have your feet pointed, or you can have your feet flexed, as you prefer, as you feel it's better. Just try it out, and you see what feels best for you. Have your legs active. And what's really important here is that you're pulling your navel towards your lower spine all the time. And try to push your lower back onto the floor. Or if you have your arms or hands there, onto your hands. Really push your lower back down. It shouldn't be arching. You have to be protecting your lower back in this exercise. From here, we'll come into double leg lifts. And here breath is a bit more important. So we'll be inhaling up, exhaling down, both legs together. Let your heel hover above the floor. So it's like almost touching, but not touching. You can have your knees slightly bent, it doesn't really matter, but still have your legs active, like don't have them floppy. So even you micro bend your knees, but have really active muscles. And maybe you'll find that it's easier to achieve that with your feet flex, or maybe pointed, try both. And now find your own rhythm and just keep the rhythm the same all the time. So inhaling up, exhaling down. Don't come up too much, like don't come up so much that your low back is lifting up. Yeah? So even sacrum, it's better that it remains on the floor at all times. And push your low back into the mat, navel to spine. So we have a minute to go here. It seems slow, but it's not really. Focus on your breath. I'm minding the time. And find your own pace. It can be slow, it can be fast. If you see that it really hurts, or if your low back hurts, stop, hug your knees and rest. If it's just your stomach muscles that hurt, try to continue. There just shouldn't be any pinching in your low back. Yeah, and if you're on your menstrual cycle or you might be pregnant, just don't exaggerate. Do a little bit and then rest. So 20 more seconds. Last one. And now bring your legs up. We'll continue. Bend your knees. Have 90-degree angle between your thighs and your upper body, and 90 degrees between your shins and your thighs. Outstretch your arms left and right on the floor. So it just goes like left and right, shoulder high. Palms are facing down, and we'll just be flowing to the left and to the right. So deep inhale. And exhale, both of the legs hip width apart to the right, but keeping your left shoulder down. So both of the shoulders have to be on the floor at all times. So inhaling to the middle, exhaling to the left. So you won't be coming very far towards the floor if you want to keep both of the shoulders on the ground. But it doesn't matter. This is a great exercise for side stomach muscles, for obliques. So inhaling middle, exhaling to the right or to the left. Both of the shoulders down. Again here, navel to spine at all times to protect your lower back. Now let's come back into the middle. And before we come to a very short rest, let's stretch our legs and arms, and we'll just come quickly into low boat. So let's inhale and exhale. And with the next inhale, lift your legs up and arms up. Torso up, head up. You're in a low boat here. Everything is strong. Point your toes, arms up, upper torso up. Now you can either hold your breath here, or you can breathe long, deep inhales and exhales. Let's hold here as long as you can. And let's release. Now feel free to hug your knees here. And maybe roll on your lower back, left and right. A quick massage. Now let's cross our ankles. Either you come up slowly, or you can roll up your spine into a seated position, where we'll finish our fiery core sequence in staff pose, legs outstretched in front of us, hands into the mat. Next, teacher.
Thank you. So from this position, we'll just bring the soles of our feet together, joining them, and create a diamond shape with our legs here. If you want, you can place some blocks underneath your knees if that feels more comfortable. You can have your diamond bigger or smaller by bringing the heels closer to your groin or further away. You want to root down through both sitting bones. Relax the shoulders down and back. Have that nice, long, tall spine, gaze looking forward. And what we'll do is we'll inhale to get tall through the spine and exhale as you hinge from the hips, keeping that nice flat back, not rounding at all yet, and just coming to a position where you can't come forward anymore with that flat back. When you come here, if you want to, you can bring your chin to your chest and round your top of your spine down, bringing your forehead towards your feet if that feels good. Or you can stay elevated with that long, straight spine. Just going to come ground down now after our warming summer solstice flow. Just sending the breath into our hip flexors that are opening up. Grounding down both sitting bones. Every inhale, relaxing the shoulders, and every exhale, maybe melting to the ground a bit more, supporting us every day that we need it. On your next inhale, your head the last to come up, bringing the head back up. So you've got a nice long tall spine, and then bringing your chin up away from your chest. With your hands, just bring your knees together and then just roll back one vertebrae at a time, or with your hands either side of your hips to support you to come lying down onto your back. Keep the soles of your feet on the floor, knees bent, ankles underneath the knees. And what we'll do, we'll just inhale, lift the hips and move them 2 inches to the right. And as you exhale, drop those knees over to the left side for an easy twist. Just readjust here if you need, and if you want, take your hands out wide into a nice T shape. If you want, have your hands down to ground after our practice. And if you feel like it, you can take your gaze over to the right-hand side. Just feeling that twist down our spine after our practice. Closing your eyes here if that feels good for you. And just feeling grounded. Feeling that connection with the earth. Feeling what parts of your body are connected to the floor here. Every inhale, your chest is opening, breathing in that inspiration of life. And every exhale, knees are heavy, coming down to the earth, shoulders are heavy, hands melting down. And just enjoying this rest as we close our practice now. You've done all the hard work, and now's the time that we can reap the rewards and be nourished for our practice fully. On your next inhale, bring your head up to the ceiling again. Just gaze up if you didn't have it before. And then bringing those knees back up as well. And as you exhale, just bring your bum, just shifting it back into the middle of the mat. So you've got that spine and your sacrum in line again. The soles of the feet firmly planted on the ground. We'll inhale, lift our hips up, bring them over 2 inches to the left. And then we'll exhale and drop those knees over to the right. Relaxing those knees down as you do it, that top and bottom knee. And feeling that slight stretch down the side of your spine. And if you want, taking the gaze over to the left-hand side. Easy twist here. Breathing in again, feeling the openness across your chest. but melting in with all the other parts of your body. Just knowing that after this, we'll go through a meditation to welcome in the summer solstice. It's time to nourish ourselves after spring is all about new adventures. In the summer, we can take a bit more time to nourish ourselves through these sunny days, even if it's not so sunny every day here. Right, next inhale, bring your gaze back up, your knees back up, planting the soles of your feet on the floor, and again, just lifting your hips so your spine's in line again. And if you want, you can just hug your knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice hug after a warming practice. And if you want, you can just take your hands on the soles of your feet, bringing your knees either side of your hips at a right angle, flexing the feet, coming into happy baby. Just holding on either on the inside or the outside of your feet, maybe rocking from side to side or back and forth, whatever feels good for you. Just massaging that lower back. Again, you can have your eyes closed here. Sending that breath into your hips, place where we can store emotions. And here we can release them in our different yoga poses. Next inhale, maybe bringing your knees back into your chest, wrapping your arms around your shins. Just give yourself a little hug, relax those shoulders down. Again, maybe just rocking from side to side again. Another little massage of the back in a slightly different position, and maybe noticing how it feels different in the different postures. And just noticing how you feel different from the start of the class. And then one leg at a time, taking your right leg out long on the mat, and then your left leg. Just letting your feet be wide, flopping the feet open to each side, maybe adjusting the flesh underneath your sitting bones, relaxing the shoulders down, head grounded into the earth, taking the palms, that hands out if that feels good. You can have your palms up or down to ground. Or if you want, you can place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Just maybe have a play here and just finding a seated posture, a supine posture that feels good for you. If you're pregnant, you can lie on your left side, or if there's anything you need, or if you've got lower back problems, maybe placing a cushion underneath your knees, or any neck problems, placing a cushion underneath your head. Just listening to your body and coming into this restorative shavasana in any way that feels good for you. And just closing your eyes here now if you didn't have them closed before. And just feeling grounded, held by Mother Earth, who's rising up to support us. Knowing that the earth is always here for us, just as the sun's always there for us. It just rises every day. Like I said, spring we ventured into action as the days started getting longer after the hibernation of winter. In summer, and particularly the solstice, this is the time to start nourishing ourselves again. After the hibernation and the action of spring, we can take this time to nourish us with anything that feels good, be that the sunshine, water, spending time in nature, through movement, any other mindset work for the hope of better days ahead. So just take a moment now to think about what you can do over the next week to nourish yourself. What brings you joy? What makes you feel good? What helps you feel restored when life is busy? And after our warming and energizing flow for the solstice is a time to set intentions. So I encourage you now to set one intention for the next month of how you will look after yourself. And this can be something really simple. Maybe making around something that will bring you joy, something that show yourself that you care for yourself. Maybe something to remind you how magnetic and powerful you are. Something to raise your vibration. Or just something to have fun. If we've learned anything over the past year, that taking time for ourselves, taking time to have fun, taking time to care for ourselves as well as others is key. It's just having a think now, just having a few moments to think about what you will do to look after yourself that feels good for you. Remember that worries can sink in at times, and that's okay. The earth, the seasons and life events and our feelings, they all have cycles. If there's any low vibes, or they will pass. But just coming back to those intentions, looking after yourself. Just coming back to the solstice, that even in winter, and now even at the summer solstice, the sun at its highest point, the sun's always there to rise up and show us that light and that hope. And once you've decided on your one intention, let's express some thanks for it. Just saying thank you now, this intention you set for yourself to care and look after yourself. Just showing it the gratitude before it's even happened, and knowing that this will come true for you. And once you've expressed thanks, knowing that it will come true, just letting it go, maybe seeing it float away, but knowing it will come back and serve you when the time is right. I'm just taking a moment here just to focus on your breath in silence and just enjoying the rest after the warming flow and setting our intention for this time. And slowly, when you're ready, just gently wiggling the fingers and the toes, just bringing some slight movement back into your body after our period of rest. Maybe taking the head from one side to the other. Just a slight neck roll to release the neck. Just deepening your breath now. Feeling the breath rise up in your chest and your belly and coming down again. When you're ready, just rolling over to the left side. Bringing your knees into your chest, into a fetal position. Just staying here for one breath. Inhaling in and exhaling, feeling your body melt down on your left side. And keeping your eyes closed, just pushing your right hand into the mat. Bringing your body back up to a seated position that feels good for you. Grounding your sitting bones down into the mat. Placing your palms on your knees. Just take a deep breath in, rising the shoulders up to your ears. And as you exhale, dropping the shoulders down. We'll just do that once more. Inhale, rising the shoulders up. And exhale, bring them down. And we'll inhale, feeling tall in our spine. And exhale, bringing the chin to your chest, hands to prayer if that feels good. Maybe taking a slight bow. On your next inhale, or whenever feels good for you, fluttering open your eyes, lifting your head and coming back into the room. Thank you, everyone. Joining our first. So yeah, thank you so very much for joining our first flow with me, Manica and Claire. Like I said, we've been doing this every week for the past year and a half, so it's really nice to share it with you all. So it's so lovely to see so many wonderful faces joining us on our flow. But yeah, feel free to add in the chat how you feel. And yeah, just really appreciate you all joining. For everyone who's donated as well, really appreciate that too. We'll send out a little email afterwards. I've started recording just in time. And yes, I'll upload it to YouTube and I'll send out the replay for you guys as well.
And send us feedback. It's always so welcome because it was our first class for others. It'd be great to know how it went for you.
Yeah, we'll send out feedback. And yeah, Cara, I'll send out the form for you to donate as well. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you, that's lovely.
Thanks for joining. It was really nice to teach you all as well.
Yeah, if anyone wants to unmute as well, I'm going to start recording actually.
Nice to see